everyone, it's Giselle here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you guys so much to those who have already been supporting this channel. I really appreciate all the love, and thank you so much to everyone from TikTok. I really appreciate the support. If you're over here from TikTok, say hi in the comments below. Today I have a really exciting video for you guys. I hope you guys are excited just as I am. So let's get started. Today I present to you guys a new series of mine called A Remix of the Past, where I take you back in time, teaching you about prominent historical figures, change makers of the past, whose stories have become silent over time, but the changes they made for the world are profound. People who lived passion-driven lives that uplift us all, such to an extent that I would use my own passion for music to create and share with you guys a short loop of a track I make, inspired by how I would believe they would sound like if they were encapsulated into a song. I thought this would be a great idea since I have a passion for music and I would like to educate you guys all on some historical figures of the past. I think it's an excellent combo, so why not? Today's episode is about Nikola Tesla, a Serbian innovator physicist, in which I believe to be one of the greatest and most underrated inventor the world has ever seen. A great visionary whose ideas bend the concept of reality and have always been ahead for their time. At the stroke of midnight in 1857, Smiljan Lika, at the borderland region of Austria-Hungary, there was a thunderous storm that illuminated the sky at the time of Tesla's birth. The midwife even said that he will be the child of storms, but his mother clarified and said no, he will be the child of light. And that is exactly how I would describe what type of person Nikola Tesla was when I reflect on what I have learned about him. A quote written by Tesla reads, "A single ray from a distant star falling in ancient times upon the eye of a tyrant may have changed the course of life, may have altered the history of nations, may have transformed the surface of the globe. This is how intricate, incomprehensibly complicated the processes in nature are." What I find interesting about the overall message of the statement is that you can make a connection between the processes of nature to the actions of a man. How an individual's life, whether they are known or not, have great impacts on society. Every little action has consequence, and it ties to the bigger picture of humanity as a whole. Don't try to diminish your accomplishments or undermine the value that you can bring to the world, even if it only affects one person. Great changes begin with small steps. What I find extremely fascinating about some of Tesla's stories is that as he got older in age, many articles or writings about him began to describe him as growing mad or becoming a weird individual. But I think there should be more questions surrounding that idea as a whole because one, I believe his distrust for others and the fact that many rejected his ideas began to sink in. The reality of people and their greed became completely unveiled towards the end of his life. And the fact that many of his patents as well as inventions are ones still used today, yet the science industry has failed to recognize him during the time he was alive, negatively affected him. And of course it's going to affect him, he's only human at the end of the day. Even the fact that many called his ideas impractical speaks volumes of how much they wanted to discredit him and dim his light, when in fact they all knew he was a genius. Empathetic to society, so much so that the people behind these big corporations and other fellow inventors grew envious and angry at the fact that his inventions were successful and that he wanted to use them for the greater good of humanity. He never idolized money, nor was it ever his main source of motivation. His inspiration solely comes from his desire to discover and to explore new inventions that will move the world forward. For example, some of his inventions include his famous Tesla coil, the remote control, improved lighting, and being the creator of the modern alternating current. It led to inventions such as neon, radio, television, radar, X-rays, and many other inventions that have never been brought to the masses. Throughout his life, he's always had to prove himself and his inventions to others, like Edison, who never wanted to advocate for alternating current due to his greed and jealousy of Tesla's discoveries affecting his business affiliated with the use of direct current, which with now Tesla's invention was outdated. Tesla was failed by the engineering industry multiple times. Another occasion is when Guglielmo Marconi was credited for being the inventor of radio when in fact Tesla did it first. There's even evidence seen of him showcasing radio before it was even patented at universities and him showcasing it to other people. The sad fact about the situation is that there were many rumors spreading in articles and magazines talking about Tesla possibly winning the Nobel Peace Prize. And for the innovator, this was a big deal for him. He really strived for excellence. But instead, Marconi was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in physics for his work in 1909. I think this is simply disappointing and shows the corruption of these industries because they favor a face for financial gain. They favor these type of individuals and put them in high positions who are simply faces for financial gain and capitalization. Many documentaries highlight Tesla's inventions, but I believe there is more to Tesla's story than the failures and successes of his career in engineering. Instead of focusing on his inventions, I think an interesting observation to explore is the way he thinks, the way he perceives the world around him, and I believe his passion for discovery allowed him to be full of life and excitement, which is something I believe we could all find value in. In a speech given at a university, it was formally transcribed, now known as a Tesla article called Experiments with Alternate Currents of Very High Frequency and Their Application to Methods of Artificial Illumination. His words highlighted his belief in universal energy and the vital role of ether, a concept that was important in the late 19th and early 20th century physics. He states, "There is no subject more captivating, more worthy of study than nature. To understand this great mechanism, to discover the forces which are active and the laws which govern them, is the highest aim of the intellect of man. Nature has stored up in the universe infinite energy. The eternal recipient and transmitter of this infinite energy is the ether. The recognition of the existence of the ether and of the function it performs is one of the most important results of modern scientific research. Of all the forms of nature's immeasurable, all-pervading energy, which ever and ever changing and moving, like a soul animates the inert universe, electricity and magnetism are perhaps the most fascinating. The effects of gravitation, of heat and light we observe daily, and soon we get accustomed to them, and soon they lose for us the character of the marvelous and wonderful. But electricity and magnetism, with their singular relationship, with their seemingly dual character, unique among the forces of nature, with their phenomena of attractions, repulsions, and rotations, strange manifestations of mysterious agents, stimulate and excite the mind to thought and research. What is electricity and what is magnetism? These questions have been asked again and again. The most able intellects have ceaselessly wrestled with the problem. Still, the question has not as yet been fully answered. But while we cannot even today state what these singular forces are, we have made good headway towards the solution of the problem. We are now confident that electric and magnetic phenomena are attributable to ether. And we are perhaps justified in saying that the effects of static electricity are effects of ether under strain, and those of dynamic electricity and electromagnetism effects of ether in motion. But this still leaves the question as to what electricity and magnetism are unanswered. During this period, Tesla spoke out intensely against the new theories of Albert Einstein, insisting that energy is not contained in matter, but in the space between the particles of an atom. He denied the fundamental theory of relativity, and maybe accepting these old ideas is the reason why we as a society haven't progressed. Maybe if we were living in Tesla's world, energy would be free. We would live completely sustainable and happy. Oh, but you know what the problem is? The corporations who profit off of these old practices will be incredibly angry at the fact that they have no control or power. For an individual to be as genius as Tesla, to create multiple breakthroughs in science, creating inventions that are used by everyone in society today, allows me to question why don't more people learn about him, especially in schools. Why isn't he as credited as much as he deserves to be? Why aren't we as a collective intrigued as much as we should be by his discoveries? And why do we continue to disrespect his legacy and his efforts? In the end, Tesla died alone, abandoned by his financiers and accused of having become too crazy to be a scientist. Yet his crazy state of mind allowed him to be one of the most prolific inventors of humankind. Many of his notes are said to have mysteriously disappeared from his room before his nephew, Sava Kozanich, went to visit his body where he died. Other files were taken from his family for top secret research by the US military, and then they mysteriously disappeared as well. You can come up with your own conclusion and beliefs on why his works were handled differently at the time of his death. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about Nikola Tesla, just a little bit about him, not too much. You guys could dive deep more into his life and about his inventions. If you guys want to learn about him, I'll leave a couple links below. But yeah, let's get started on making the track inspired by him. Thinking of doing something a little bit trancey when I think of Nikola Tesla. Trance kind of sounds like a genre he would be. And I think I should incorporate some sounds of thunder and lightning, so that's what I'm gonna do first. Okay, so mean, 130 is good. I hear. Let's put the metronome. That sounds so good, the bass. And then I hear like, and then I hear like a. It has to be a really nice arpeggio. No, it's not gonna sound good. I'm a little slow at doing this, but once I enter flow state, that's when it comes. I'm gonna add another pad, but it needs to be a little loud though. I need to find some trancey. That sounds good. Now let's see if this pattern. Okay, let's delete this. Like literally making music is like a lot of troubleshooting and like deleting and going back. Even when you're like in the middle of creating an idea, it's just like a lot of back and forth and going through different sounds. It's just time consuming just when it comes to just picking sounds. I'm gonna see if I find like an audio clip of Tesla speaking, but I've been trying to find one, but I couldn't find anything, so we need a ride now. I'm gonna add a little bit more final touches and then I'll finish, wrap up, and let you guys know what you think. And then you guys tell me if I should finish this track or not. episode, everyone, I just want to share with you guys a quick closing statement. In a world full of instant satisfaction, instant gratification, and attention-grabbing spectacles, now is the time more crucial than ever to bring the power back to yourself. Nothing is wrong with consuming information or scrolling on your phone, but the intentions and quality of the content that you're watching is what matters. Just one tear-jerking video in the morning could completely ruin your day, especially if it's the first thing you watch. With tons of current events, politics, and news broadcasted every day, of course it's important to be in the know, but at times I feel as if it does more harm than good. I'm not saying to turn a blind eye to important social or political matters, but feeding into the negative motion will only leave you feeling hopeless. Feeling hopeless is the worst state that you would want to be in. It's about time for change. And how are we able to persevere and find motivation to spark action in order to move forward if we find ourselves stuck in our phones, causing us a sense of dread and fear? Yes, there's a sense of privilege to be able to do so, but you have a purpose. The world needs your light, your empathy, your kindness, and your passion. So today I will share with you all a plan that I strategize. As the saying goes, you can't love others unless you love yourself completely, because it shows. As you embody the person that you are proud of, you'll understand how great changes begin within you first. So from now on, I want you to cut out all the noise. Assess information with skepticism. Use your discernment and find the real truth, because that is what matters. Focus on your passions that will inspire action, and with time, great changes will occur. So bring your attention to what sits right in front of you. Things that you can physically do, presently change for the better, or interact with. No outside distractions, just you and your purpose in the moment. The answers are hidden in plain sight, and they have always been sitting right in front of you. So that's it for this episode, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really appreciated doing something new and creating something with my writing, with my different skill sets, like my music, and just putting it all together. And I'm looking forward to creating more videos like this and adding on to the series. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and please stay tuned for more videos from me coming soon. Thank you guys. Have a blessed and awesome day. Bye.